I was thinking a few weeks ago, like, why do I collect? And it'd be really good to do a video on it, just talking about it, perhaps get a discussion going. And one of the main reasons I collect is because it brings me a lot of like comfort and joy, as well as being able to have tangible items as well. I'm not even the most possession orientated person, but when it comes to things that I really enjoy to collect, I sort of go all in and all out with it. As you can see, like, I got a lot of Blu-rays. I've got quite a few like collectible figures and things like that. That's one thing I'd like to get into more, the figure side of things. It's all a case of money though as well. I mean, I've spent quite a lot in the past, and I suppose you've not always got like the money to go and drop like, I don't know, like over £200 on like a statue or like a bust. I mean, it's great too, but sometimes you just can't do it, I guess, depending on your situation. But yeah, I've been looking at some like premium collectibles. I have a couple of Trick or Treat Studios figures. Have a really big like Terrifier one, which is actually on this channel. I've got a video of that up, the Trick or Treat Terrifier figure. That was quite expensive for me, over £100, about 130. So I thought that was quite dear. It might have even been 150. But when it comes to collecting, you know, as far as spending money goes, like any hobby, you can just go on and on. You can, you know, you can buy cheaper things, cost-effective things. You can buy more premium things. Same goes for Blu-rays and Blu-ray discs, yeah. So you can collect cheap DVDs. I pick a few up sometimes, or you can go on, you can pick up Blu-rays, which are normally a little bit more expensive. And then of course you got your limited editions, which cost a fair bit, especially buying from boutique labels. But when you collect, and you know, you collect because you like the whole package. So mainly you're collecting, so you've got the movie, so you have the movie in your possession, and then things sort of go a little bit further. You're like, well, I'm such a big fan of collecting movies, why not get the best of the best and get the best packaging and the best sort of like physical goodies with it, and you know, and supplements, and have the best disc possible with the best cover art. I mean, the covers, you'd be surprised, even like subliminally, how like a cover can sell you on something. Like, it obviously there's an old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but subliminally it really can sell something. Like a book cover can sell a book, even if the book's perhaps not that great to the person who's going to read it or engage him. But same goes for a movie. Some movies have fantastic covers, especially like releases from like labels like Vinegar Syndrome, who do some of the best packaging. There's some great films in their catalogue, but also there's some bad ones, because they do, you know, they have a mixed bag. Some of their bad ones are really fun and good, but some of them are just bad movies that aren't even have any fun or entertainment value. A few of them, I haven't got any of those because I like all the VS titles that I have, but they're a prime example of phenomenal packaging can sell something, and it really does. But anyway, I just wanted to go on a little bit onto a tangent there. But anyway, back to sort of why do I collect. So there's a number of reasons, really. It's not just one reason. So number one, I like to have things in my physically. So when it comes, movies is my favourite thing to collect. One of my favourite hobbies is collecting movies. So it's so good, like, to basically own them. As you know, like, streaming's taken off over the past like decade or so, and it's now the you know, the dominant sort of like way to entertain yourself for, you know, like with television and film, is to stream. That's the easiest way, you know, or digital. You can perhaps download your films or TV shows off iTunes, and then you've got them digitally. But at the end of the day, that could possibly disappear, even if you paid for it. Like, say if one of those firms in the future, not that Apple, you know, are ever going to go bust, probably not, but you know, if you had like a smaller firm, they could possibly go bust and you might lose all your content. I mean, PlayStation used to sell movies to download digitally, and I've only ever had one on there digitally, and that was the Wretched, the witch film from a couple of years ago. Thing is, I didn't download it to my PlayStation. I just had it on there, so like basically I could access the film and stream it. So I bought the film digitally off PlayStation Store, but they stopped doing movies, and because I didn't download it onto my own system, I lost it. Like, that was the only one I ever bought. But I just thought, well, I don't really need to put it on the memory, into the you know, on the memory drive, because it's just going to take up room. And obviously, having a PlayStation, I can just go onto their I can just stream it from there, out of the library. So no, gone. So you never know if these companies stop doing certain films. I don't think like iTunes will. They'll be fine. But you know, you could lose your stuff. So having it physically is just a blessing. Look, like, you got the fantastic packaging. If you buy like boutique stuff and limited stuff, you know, you got fantastic packaging. You've got it forever. It's at your disposal. You can watch it when you like, you can save it, you can have all your favourite things, you know. And collecting's just great. Anyway, I mean, I think it stems from when you're younger as well, and you collect toys. You know, you love playing with your toys. You like having these tangible things you can play with in your hand, and you own them. It's not just something that's like digital or, you know, imaginary. I mean, you can use your imagination with toys, but you know what I mean. Like, you start off when you're young, you have your toys, then you go into things like collectible cards, stickers, etc. Sports stickers, you know, football stickers. I've collected them at one stage a little bit. Not something I ever got too into, but I did. I collected videotapes as well when I was younger, acquired them, you know, I had loads of videotapes, like children's ones when I was younger, you know, Disney films, things like that. Then as I sort of got a little bit older, DVD came out and dominated the market. I was so excited when I got a DVD player, when we did in the family household. Me and my sister loved it, and we were just fascinated that we could, instead of having these clunky old like videotapes, we now had our movies like on a nice shiny disc. And that was just great. I remember one of the first ones I had, and I actually have the Scream Factory Blu-ray here of Ghost Ship. But I had that film there, Ghost Ship, on DVD with an lenticular cover, and it was a snapper case. You know, Warner Brothers snapper cases. It was one of those, and I loved the damn thing. And I didn't like the film that much. I actually prefer the film now I'm older, because it's grown me a little bit after watching this edition. But anyway, regardless of whether the film's good or not, you know, that case was amazing to me, and ever since I've just been like fascinated with just owning it. So basically, get the best of both worlds. You own it, so no one can take it from you. So it's in your possession. You own, you know, you've never got to worry about it being on television or being on streaming. You actually have it for yourself. It's tangible. You get great, you know, you get covers you can look at and collect. So you like, you know, that comes back to Lux kind of connotates with collecting artwork or like cards. Some people love to collect like paintings and artwork, but you know, being a movie collector, if you buy like ones with great covers and limited editions, you're getting your film that you want in your possession, so you actually own that movie and no one can take it from you. Then also, you're kind of collecting art, because if you like the artwork on it and it's a stunning release, then you know, you're getting the best of both worlds. And yeah, that's one of the reasons I collect, so I can own it. So I've got the great covers I can look at, you know, like it's artwork. It's tangible, it's physical, it's in my hand, it can't disappear into thin air. When it comes to boutique labels, they're a lot of fun. I never used to be like boutique labels. I think have just got bigger over the past decade, maybe a little bit before like Arrow started, like late 2000s, I think. They're just an example. And then you had Scream Factory in the US market from like, I don't know, 2012 maybe 13, not too sure. But anyway, regardless, boutique labels have become a force for collectors over the past decade. You know, they're giving collectors what we want, they're giving us the releases we want with the packaging to go with it. And I used to just collect studio releases. I didn't know what a boutique label was until about, let me think, 4 hours. So yeah, let's say 6 years ago, the first boutique label I was kind of aware of was like Arrow, and I came onto it accidentally. So say for example, I'd not collected Blu-rays since about, or DVDs even. I picked up the odd DVD, but I used to collect Blu-rays and DVDs till about 2011, I think. So I got introduced to Blu-ray through having a PlayStation 3. They had the new format, didn't they? Blu-ray defeated HD DVD in the battle for to be the next dominant disc on the market. And Blu-ray, Sony, I think Sony owned it or own it. They owned Blu-ray, and Blu-ray beat HD DVD. So I got PlayStation 3, introduced to Blu-ray. I was like, cool, I'll check this out. I think the first film I had on Blu-ray was the James Bond Casino Royale film, the new one, not the really old one. And I had that, and then I bought some other Blu-rays like Apocalypto, you know, some studio releases, Enter the Dragon, Predator, Gladiator, you know, big films like that. And then I sort of stopped collecting as I was doing other things, like let's just say 2011. It might have been slightly before or after, and stopped collecting. Then like at a point in my life where I needed the hobby back, like I really needed it to like support my well-being. I enjoy doing it, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to start watching more movies again. And I don't want to just stream them, because a lot of the stuff that I wanted to see, these more niche films or cult films per se, weren't really available on like Netflix and places like that, and Amazon. I mean, Amazon have some okay sort of niche like films on there, cult films and stuff from the 80s, you know, 80s horror and bits, you know, they have bits, but you know, a lot of the time, these movies that I wanted to watch when I needed to, a time in life where I needed to escape through movies and as a form of escapism, they just were not available on streaming. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to collecting Blu-rays. So I picked up a few studio releases, a couple of cheap ones, not aware of what boutique labels were or anything. And I think I wanted Suspiria on Blu-ray because I'd never owned it before. I'd seen it before online or on TV or something years ago. God knows, I'd seen it though, and I wanted it. So I looked, I bought the, I think the label was Cult Films, I bought the Blu-ray. And then after watching that again, I was like, you know, phenomenal film, really enjoyed it. And then I was like, had a little look into it, and I was like, oh, it's a part of a unofficial trilogy by Argento called the Three Mothers trilogy. I want to see the other films. So obviously then I was like, well, I want to see Inferno. So I looked, so I said, I thought, oh, I'll buy the disc. I'll look around, see if there's an Inferno Blu-ray available. And I'm just trying to find it in here. It's an Arrow one. I don't know if I can find it though. Here it is. So after buying Suspiria on Blu-ray, when I started collecting again, I wanted Inferno. So I saw this edition on Amazon. Picked it up for about £7.99. Thought nothing of it. I thought, oh, that's got nice artwork. Okay. So I got it. I thought that's a bit different. So it comes in like a see-through case, and it's got like a colour bar at the bottom and this Arrow Video. Well, that's not the studio, is it? I thought. And then it went from there really. So watched the film, enjoyed it, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Might check out some other like horror, you know, horror films I've not seen. So then I bought another horror film. Can't remember what it was. I got it, but you know, I just bought the edition that was the best price. Didn't pay, you know, didn't think about it too much, didn't overthink it. And then another one came and it had an A on it, and I was like, oh, what's all this A about and stuff. I was like, oh, and then I figured it out, and I was like, oh, it's a line, like they put out movies like and stuff. And ever since, and then I got into more and more. I was like, oh, every film I'm buying from Arrow Video I'm kind of enjoying, and I want to check out more, so I'm just going to get into it. And then from there I just got into stuff like 88 films and like Second Sight, etc., Indicator, you name it. And I've gone on to be, you know, collecting like Vinegar Syndrome, and went into like importing and stuff. But that's how I got introduced to boutique labels, completely by accident, by just wanting to see Inferno because I was a fan of Suspiria, and I just ended up discovering that it's a line, Arrow Video, it's a label that put movies out. Simple as that really. And that went from there. Now I'm a big fan of collecting boutique labels, and I don't, not to sound snobby or snooty, but I don't particularly like picking up studio releases unless they're really cheap. If I can't get a boutique label release of a film, I will get the studio, but I don't want to pay like the £15 fee. I know that's probably not good for the business because they're still putting discs out, and people should support that really when a new film comes out, but I try and wait, because normally it happened with the Lighthouse. So that phenomenal film, The Lighthouse, came out about 3 years ago. I couldn't wait to see it. I missed it at the cinema because it had limited showings in this area. So I thought, okay, everyone's raving about this film, it's going to be good. I'll get the Blu-ray when it's released. So got the Blu-ray of The Lighthouse. Okay, studio release of the film, you know, pretty good. This year, so like 3 years later, Arrow put out a phenomenal edition, which I missed out on. I didn't get the limited edition of The Lighthouse, but this is what I'm saying. I'd rather wait now in case a boutique label picks up certain films than waste on the studio release. Not that I don't mind, I'm not a snob to them. I do buy studio releases. In fact, I've got a lot of them. Like all of these are studio releases. All this section, well, there's 101 films in there as well, but predominantly they're studio releases. But anyway, that, you know, like, and also, yeah, so it's quite a hard one to articulate, but a number of reasons I collect. One is escapism. It gives me, you know, something tangible to enjoy that I own, that can't be taken away, that I'll always have. So if I've got access in a library, I've got access to these films, no one can take them away. So I've got a library of films I've built up. There's one reason. They're tangible, it's in your hand, it gives me a little hobby, something to collect. I get to look at the lovely artwork, I get to pick what sort of release I want, etc. So it's almost like collecting cards or something from sports cards when you're younger, but instead you're collecting a movie. So it's even better, you're getting a movie, you're getting a lovely package. So there's your collecting aspect taken care of. You've got your package, So you got your nice like case and that with your artwork on. That's better than a card. And then inside you've got your disc, so you've got a movie, so you've collected something that's got like collectible, but you've also got a film you can actually watch and enjoy and keep like forever. You know, so many reasons why I collect, and I enjoy it. It's escapism. I just love it anyway. I get more and more into it as I go along. I'm trying to have a break for this month though, like, and not spend too much money, because it can get a bit ridiculous. I think we all know that who collects. Let's be honest, you can spend a lot, but I don't think we always have like unlimited financial resources. So sometimes we have to kind of have a break and think to ourselves, well, there's stuff coming out in a couple of months that I want to save for. So instead of just spontaneously buying this month, I'm going to have a break and buy some other bits and save up, and then perhaps go a little bit crazy in a couple of months. That's what I'm doing anyway. I'm having a little break. That's why there's not going to be many unboxings on the channel for a few weeks really. There might be the odd one, but there's not really many releases until the end of August that I'm that interested in purchasing. So that's that really. So it gives me a breather from spending all my money, which isn't a bad thing always. But yeah, I hope I've given some valid reasons to why I've collected. It was quite a tough one to do. I have done this off the top of my head. I did have a little think. I had a cup of coffee and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this why I collect video, just in case anybody's interested, because it got a few votes on my poll that I did on the Skin Crawlers channel last week. I did a poll. The other, what won? Top 20 horror characters won the poll, but this was a pretty close second, the why do I collect. So I decided I'm going to do them both, and I hope I've given some valid reasons. I mean, why do you collect? I mean, leave a comment and, you know, give me your take on it when you can. There's some of my reasons. There is more reasons. When I finish this video, I'll think, oh, why didn't I mention that? And I'll think that was a missed opportunity. I could have said that in the video, but that happens when you do things off the cuff. But still, there's a few reasons why I collect. Okay, bye.